2020 has been a year like no other, that's for sure, for so many people around the world, all at the same time. Today, I wanted to have some interesting information to give to you in a different perspective, under a different light. It is Christmas around the world for so many as I post this video, but the information here will apply to everybody all the way around. Doesn't matter what day it is, doesn't matter where you are. And we're talking about commitment. Commitment is absolutely essential, not just as it relates to money or finance or business or success. This applies to everything, whether that's relationships, one you have with your wife, your husband, your child, your neighbor, your friends, family, everybody. This is so important that you commit, okay? So we're going to talk about commitment. On that screen down there, I have written what I want to get across to you today. I made a post about this on Instagram, just a little short one, but I wanted to go into it with a little bit more depth. And I wanted to really hammer this home because this is really, truly essential for people to understand, okay? So commitment, let's talk about that. And I think that the first factor here is that you have such an impact on your personal situation, the one you're dealing with today, whether that's good or bad. You have a huge impact on that. It's not as if this is something out of your control. There are certain things that are out of your control. Natural disaster comes through, wipes out your house. That wasn't in your control. But you could certainly make changes, do different things on a daily basis to actually affect change as you have it and as you see it today. Now, one of those things is employment. It's so huge. I mean, I talk about it all the time. If you've seen this channel before, you know how important that is. But employment, a lot of times, people simply do not want to take the jobs that they dislike. And that, especially in a time like this, probably isn't a wise idea. There was a point in time where I was working three jobs, and I really hated two of them, but I did them. Now, what did that mean? I mean, that I got up in the morning and the time I went to bed, in between those, I was either working in a job or going from one to the other. And that wasn't very nice. But when you want to accomplish a goal, when you've set it out to actually commit to this goal, you don't break from it under any circumstances unless there's something crazy going on. You do it, you commit to it, and you make it happen because there is a light at the end of the tunnel and you got to get there. That's one thing. Look, if it takes 3 jobs for you to get there, and that means you can't do anything else but be working for the next 6 months, for the next year, for whatever it is, then you got to do it. And those jobs aren't going to be fancy. Those jobs aren't going to be your favorite ones. But certainly, if they put food on the table, that's the most important thing, okay? And you don't want this long-term necessarily. You don't want this to overtake your life. But sometimes you got to put your head down. You got to work hard and you got to do what it takes. Other people, they can't find jobs at all. The situation is completely different. I know that in certain areas, things are really bleak. I get that. But I'm just saying, when it's something that's within your circumstances, certainly do whatever you can to affect that change, all right? Now, commit today and figure it out later. Figure out the steps involved at a later time. You just commit. Okay, I am going to get this done no matter what it takes. I have to get this done. I'm going to get it done, and certainly I will. And as a result, I'll figure it out later. I'll figure it out tomorrow. I'll figure it out as I go. I'm going to do something today, though, that's going to bring me closer. And if you have probably seen this phenomenon before, you think it's going to be the biggest struggle. You think it's going to be painful. You think it's going to be terrible. And you step into it, and next thing you know, it's done. You're already done. And it's usually not as bad as you thought it would be. Isn't that the case for so many things in our lives? But we have to commit first. That is the key. Okay? Very, very important that you do that. Excuse me. Write down what you want. If that means writing it on a pen and a paper, do it. If that's telling your friends and your family, that's important too, because when you tell them, it makes it real, it establishes it, and then they'll hold you accountable, or at least you can ask them to hold you accountable. You could say, you know, give me pressure, put some pressure on me on this. I need to make this happen. And whether that's a business thing, maybe you want to start a new business, you're thinking about it, you're unsure, and you're kind of just going back and forth. I've talked to many people that do the same thing. Well, you know, I don't know. I should do the biz. Should I not do it? You got to do it. You got to commit to it. I am going to set up this business. I'm going to make this happen. It's going to happen. Now, whether or not you're successful tomorrow, that's a whole different story. Don't worry about that. But you got to get it done. Maybe you want to make an extra $50 per week. Well, what are you going to do? Well, maybe you can cut the grass. Maybe you can do some baking. Maybe you can do any of those other things. I brought it up on the last video I did with the face-to-face camera. Different ideas I was giving. And essentially, you need to look at it in a way that is commit first, figure it out later. Okay, I don't want to reiterate that point too often, but that's what I'm talking about here. Commit to new skills, friendships, and alliances. A lot of people, they get stuck in their social circle, they get stuck where they are, and certainly it's difficult to grow out of that, isn't it? Because you're with the people that have certain skills, that have certain abilities, they have certain connections, and if you don't seek out others, somehow it's going to get you where you've been previously. That's just the way it is. So one of the easiest places, obviously, is online. If you're interested in something, go online, go into the social media and start to meet people. It doesn't mean you've got to be best friends with this person and, you know, you got to share your life together. No, that's not at all what it means. But you start to establish connections, and that's going to help you down the road. There's no doubt about it, because you're meeting people, you're learning about people, you're getting the business connections, you're getting friendships that happen. And somebody might say, you know what, you work at that place, you used to work there and you don't have employment right now. Well, my brother has a business, he's in your area, he's doing this and that. Why don't you give him a call? Here's his number, do an interview, so on. These things happen every single day. These connections are formed, and it's not in the traditional sense. Things have really, really changed, especially now in 2020, right? You got to make those things happen for yourself. You've got to commit today. And then I wanted to say something. I know some people might disagree with it, but I need to say it anyway. And that is, work for free if you need to. Work for free. Many people do not do this, and I think it's a big mistake. Entrepreneurs, they work for free. If somebody is, for example, writing a book, okay? Very relevant example. You are working for free because you have no idea if somebody's going to actually buy that. If somebody is an artist and they paint a painting, they're working hour after hour after hour, and then finally they put it up for sale. Well, unless you're already an established artist where people are consistently buying your work, you may never sell it. So you work that entire time for free. But in the 9-to-5 job sense, a lot of times there might be a small business that says, you know, we got to let you go. And if you know that there's a chance that they may actually need you 3 months from now, 6 months from now, maybe, depending on the situation, there are circumstances here, maybe it's better to just stay on, because the chance of you getting rehired might be unlikely. So you could maybe stay on, and you could say, look, reduce my salary, or don't get rid of me now. I want to stay here, and you commit to that. They may actually look favorably on you and actually give you a little bit of encouragement, and they might help you out, and that might turn out in your favor. It doesn't work in all situations. Let me be clear about that. And certainly people may want to get unemployment, because if they're laid off, to get the unemployment. Anyway, different situation. But I'm just saying, when you are working for free, when you are doing things, when you're trying to seek out new relationships, new alliances, and doing all of these things, new opportunities will form. But if you didn't commit in the first place, there's nothing that's going to happen. Nothing that's going to happen. I'll tell you that right now. This is from everything that I have experienced and what I have seen from others, and I've read and I've read and I've read, and you see that over time, how much of this has really, really been established along the way. Now, I don't want to go on more with this. I think you get my point. I think it's very clear. Commitment is essential, and that is with everything, with your relationships, with the people in your life, and it's so important. Anyway, this is part of the Money GPS way to, just give you a little Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, we're almost there, that type of message. And I think that we can work through a lot of what's happening, despite how negative it is, despite how unfortunate it is for millions and millions of people. I understand. Trust me, I really do. I'm doing my best to unleash the truth, no matter what it is. And I'm trying to bring that to you. I hope you enjoy this information. If you do, please, I just ask, hit that thumbs up button. It supports the channel. That's it. I just want to say, if anybody needs any information from me at any time, always contact me through the comment section. I'm always replying to people every day, or at least giving a little hearts there just to let you know that I have read your message. This is a one-man show. It's an operation that, I've been doing for a long time, and, a lot has changed on this platform, that's for sure. I mean, can't really say half the things you used to be able to say, but anyway, I'm just glad that you're here watching, and that's all. Thank you, and take care.